Oh, hey guys, Boston fan back. And I just want to make a video today, just to kind of reflect on the Patriots moving on from Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick moving on from the Patriots. Pretty significant event in my region, of course, and for me as a fan. Belichick was hired when I was a junior in high school, and now I'm a 41-year-old professional teacher, two kids. So he's really been here for a long time, and it's quite the tenure he had, but essentially my entire adulthood. Um, and it's as a New England fan, it's bittersweet. I think it was time to move on. I think that Belichick is still a great coach, and it would be awesome to have him coach, but his personnel decisions um, aren't the greatest and haven't been the greatest for some time. And in a perfect world, he would be able to give up that personnel decision making to somebody else and continue coaching. But when you win six Super Bowls, and ego is certainly part of it, and that's not a fault of Belichick's at all. It's hard to be willing to give that up. I don't know that many people would give that up. So it was just time. We couldn't continue. The Patriots couldn't continue um, with him as a player personnel guy, and Belichick couldn't continue with losing power because the dynamic would not work. So of course they decided to mutually part ways, which essentially the Patriots were saying, "You're fired." They wanted to put it nicely, and so I wanted to reflect a little bit on his career. Coaches, there's not a lot of stuff to collect with coaches. So what I did is I pulled out a couple TTM items that I gotten back from over the years. So he signed this Patriots photo for me. I started to get it multi-signed. I have Teddy Bruschi that signed it as well. But that didn't continue after Bruschi. And then he used to be great through the mail, so you just send him requests, can I have a signed picture? And he'd send it. He'd also get his form letter back, and he would sign that as well. I think I have a third picture because I sent to him, he's been the coach here for 24 years, so I sent to him a few times. I think I have another one framed that just packed up. And then I decided, in doing this, I have a old cigar box my father gave me, and that's where I put all my ticket stubs. So I pulled out just a bunch of the Patriots ones. There's ticket stubs that either I went to or my father went to, and since I've been a kid, I've been sticking them in this box. I'll take the Patriots stuff off to show you, but this has all my Red Sox tickets and concert tickets in there too. But yeah, it's just where I keep all of them. Random stuff. Here's a Sunday, May 3rd. That was Pedro's second ever start at Fenway Park as a Red Sox. And one day I'll do more video on that. But I pulled out some Patriot ticket stubs just to reminisce about what he's accomplished and what I remember from him. If I didn't go to the game, my father did, and so of course I'm sitting watching the game knowing my dad's there. So the first two I pulled out, there's no particular order. These I actually got. These are from the 2001 season, when of course they won the Super Bowl. And that year I was like, oh, I want to collect ticket stubs from all the games. And I literally would go on message boards and just message, hey, if you have season tickets and you were at the Patriots game, could I have one of your tickets? And I got a Broncos fan and a Falcons fan to send me the tickets. So that was Belichick's first Super Bowl year. Obviously Brady's too. So it's pretty cool that I got those. This ticket stub is from the first game ever at Gillette Stadium. So Belichick, of course, it's not the stadium that Belichick built. And you can see it was called CMGI, but that company failed. So it was actually Gillette Stadium when it opened, but not when these tickets were printed. But certainly everything around it has grown up because of, in part, Belichick. This is a parking pass I had. The actual ticket stub is framed in a display, but I was at the Raiders snow game, the Tuck Rule game, as everyone knows it by. This is my parking pass, no, there was a club. We had a buffet before the game, so this is my ticket stub to the club. It doesn't mention what game it's from, but that's what it was from. That was an epic game. Still the greatest sporting event that I've ever been to. Next up, this is, I don't know if Patriots fans will remember this game. So it's against Miami. It had snowed drastically the day before, a few days before. and Teddy Bruschi picked off a pass, Jay Fiedler passed and returned it for a touchdown. He turned it like 5 yards. He snatched it out of the air, and the fans were throwing snow up in the air, kind of like fireworks. So my father was at that game. Another memorable Belichick game. That defense in 2003 was just unbelievable. Oh, this is actually a ticket stub from Belichick's first game coaching the Patriots. Game 1 of the 2000 season against Tampa. Yeah, there it is, 2000, September 3rd, 2000. So this is pretty significant. I think this is pretty cool. My father was there. And if I remember correctly, either the Patriots fumbled the opening kickoff or Tampa fumbled the opening kickoff. So it was either a very inauspicious start or a very cool start to Belichick's tenure. I don't remember the details of that. This one was a banner-raising game my father went to. This is when opening day after they won their 3rd Super Bowl. Let me get us on the thing. It was against the Raiders. Randy Moss caught a couple touchdowns in that game. Patriots won. This game would be opening day 2004. So this was a game against the Colts where they raised banner 2. You can see the 2nd Super Bowl trophy there. My father, again, was at this game. This is a game that I took my now wife to, not even girlfriend then, just friend in college, and she had never been to a Patriots game. So it was in mid there, 2003, 2004 winning streak. Snowed that day, which was pretty cool. This is the first time I saw Belichick Patriots team. It was against the Colts, and that's where his domination of Peyton Manning started. They won that game. I remember Eric Bjornsson caught a touchdown, and who was the quarterback? Michael something of the Patriots threw a Hail Mary at the end of the half for a touchdown as well. This is a preseason game, 2001. The significance, of course, being that 2001 was their first Super Bowl year. This is the night before I went to college, and my uncle took me to this game. So I'm sure that I saw Tom Brady play. Obviously, it wasn't significant. And, of course, Belichick was the coach of that team. And then the next morning, so August 31st, 2001, packed the car, drove over to UMass. So this, and I think it's this one, too. So these were from our Jets game, 2002. Jets ended up winning this game. Kevin Falk returned for a touchdown. Significance for me on this one is that I actually got onto the field before that game. We were hanging out in the club where these seats are from, and the person whose tickets these are randomly saw someone they hadn't seen in 20 years who worked for the Patriots, and he was just like, hey, do you guys want to go out in the field? And so we were down on the field for warm-ups, which was awesome. I remember how big the players were, Willie McGinnis, how big Tom Brady looked, which is surprising. You don't think he's a giant guy, but he's huge. And I don't remember seeing Belichick out there. I don't remember looking for Belichick, to be honest. And then the last two, this one is the AFC Championship game against the Colts in 2004-2003 season. That's the one. Ty Law picked up 4 passes. Again, Belichick's defense is just awesome. They just beat the crap out of the Colts. And I'm sorry if you're a Colts fan, but then the Colts went and cried to the league about it, and they changed all the defensive rules. It's because the Patriots just beat the crap out of them. It was awesome. It was so much fun to watch. And that's what I loved about Belichick's defenses is, when they were allowed to, they would hammer people, and it was so much fun as a fan. And I know Belichick is, he's a great villain for the NFL, and probably if you weren't rooting for the Patriots, it was easy to hate them because of Belichick. And I absolutely see that. But it was also on the other side when people are feeling like that and you're still winning. It felt so good. It felt so much fun. And then the last one, this one I bought. This is the championship game, the first championship game against the Steelers out of the 3. Belichick did go 3-0 against the Steelers in the conference championship. And this is from the 2001 season. This game was in 2002, of course. This one, Brady went down, Bledsoe came in, and didn't really win the game. It was more the defense and the special teams. Troy Brown returned a punt for a touchdown, and then they blocked a punt. Troy Brown recovered it, lateraled it to Antoine Harris, who returned it for a touchdown. And so I think I bought this quickly after the game on eBay, but that was like a 2002 buy. But in remembering everything that Belichick brought, of course, we've got the Super Bowls. And so anything Super Bowl related is going to have, a hint of Belichick in it in my collection. I have his Pro Set rookie card somewhere. I've been looking all day and I cannot find it. I have no idea where I put it. So that's somewhere in my house, which of course will obviously continue to be in my collection. But I just, I felt like making a video there's not much, again, for a head coach, especially in football or basketball. If they weren't a player, there's not much to show off and collect with them. So it's kind of through memories and through other things. And for me, it's just the stack of ticket stubs mostly that my father went to. And just remembering those games as I see the ticket stub and remembering what was so much fun about all the winning that he brought here. And for those of you who aren't as old as me maybe or don't realize, what I grew up, the Boston sports that I grew up in was terrible. The teams were awful. So I started following the sports, Red Sox and Patriots mostly in 1993. So I missed out on the Bird years. He had just retired. I remember his retirement, but that's about it. Patriots were awful. They had just drafted Bledsoe. Parcells came in. They made one Super Bowl, lost by 2 touchdowns to the Packers. The Celtics were continuously terrible. The Red Sox were mediocre at best. They did had a couple nice years, 98 and 99 with Pedro on the team. So there was some hope there, but they hadn't. I mean, the Yankees were clearly the dominant team, always outspending them, always willing to go the extra mile. And the Bruins were just kind of up and down. They make the playoffs out in the first round. They'd bomb and miss the playoffs. They'd make the playoffs and out in the first round. And there's really nothing exciting in the sports scene. And Belichick came in and, first year he was 5-11, sorry. And then 2001 happened and they won the Super Bowl against the Rams, and then everything in Boston in terms of sports changed and the expectations changed, and gosh, it was a lot of fun. And the ending of that era is big. It's important, and although I understand it had to happen, it's sad. It kind of stinks. It was really a lot of fun to be a fan of all that and just watch it all throughout all the years and know that he was the head of the team and he was running the team, and you knew you were going to get something decent out of him. And they went to 9 Super Bowls with him as head coach. They won 6 of them. Just absolutely incredible. I'm sorry to see him go. Again, I understand it had to happen. It was time. I believe it was time, but at the same time it stinks. And so I'll miss him as head coach for sure. I think he's the greatest coach of all time. Of course, that's debatable. He's absolutely the greatest Patriots coach of all time. That's unarguable. But I thought I'd share it. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Of course, my focus is Boston sports, among other things, but that's my passion. So just wanted to share that. This video is kind of long. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I haven't really shown off. I don't particularly collect ticket stubs. I will buy some of the more important ones, mostly like some Red Sox World Series games I've purchased. Those I'm hoping to get autographed at some time. And I do want to get a Patriot Super Bowl ticket or two. I have the Packers Super Bowl ticket when they lost to Super Bowl 31 that I'm going to probably sell for my father. He went to the game. But I would like to get, a Super Bowl ticket. But otherwise, I don't usually buy ticket stubs. It's just what I go to or what my father went to. He doesn't like to go to Patriot games anymore. But with e-tickets now, that sadly is kind of coming to a close. So yeah, I've got one day I'll do it. I separate it sometime because I can do a Pedro video. I never did it, but I've got a whole box of ticket stubs that I can show off. I collect them, but, not in any kind of serious manner, more just a collection of what I experience. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you went through this far, if you have any particular memories of Belichick, please post them below. It's totally okay if they're negative comments towards him, because I get that most of the league hated him and he was the super villain and the Sith Lord of the NFL, and that's totally okay. Here in New England, we enjoyed that, honestly. Like when people called him evil and terrible and the Sith Lord and all that, like we loved it. We ate that up here. So love to hear your comments on Belichick. Where do you think he's going next? I've heard the Falcons. I think the Chargers would be a nice spot. I think a team ready to win he'd be perfect for, where he doesn't need to necessarily build a whole system, but he can just coach it and get them to the promised land. And I'm going to root for him. I hope he wins again. It'll be bittersweet, just like it was when Brady won in Tampa. But, I hope he does add another Super Bowl, because I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan for life. He's the greatest coach of my favorite team ever. So that's where it is. This video is 14 minutes long, which is ridiculously long for just a kind of show off video. But those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.